Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words proudly saying, "We the people."
Welcome, folks, to another episode of Ask an Attorney. Unfortunately, our usual host, John Ahrens, is not going to be available this week. But today, we've got actually my assistant assisting us. So Alex is my legal assistant.
Hello.
Alex Bostic.
Oh.
We're both named Alex, makes it simpler. We're the Alexei collectively.
Oh, no.
Individually, we're Alex. Collectively, we use they pronouns.
No,
But individually,
right.
we use he, him pronouns.
That's good.
All right, so I think Alex has a question prepared for us today. He's actually probably going to be better at answering legal questions than I would be, since he's the guy that actually files everything with the court, and I'm the one that just sort of writes things and researches things.
That's court rules questions, really.
Yeah. Court rules questions he's good at.
Yeah, so we've started. Oh, boy, I like being in camera. Okay, so...
Thank you for doing this,
Yeah,
Alex.
so you gave me...
This is not Alex's favorite thing in the world. But.
You showed me your list of questions, then you also gave me a long lecture about how it would take way too long to answer criminal defense questions. So I have lots of those in mind.
Okay.
So the one question I have that I really want to ask is that I have heard, if this is a rumor, it's going to be an incredibly short video, but I have heard that there are a lot of cutouts for DUIs. So I want to know why specifically it is not a Fourth Amendment violation. I think it's the Fourth Amendment. I might be thinking the wrong one. That when cops pull you over, they tell you to blow into a little tube.
Oh, do you mean Fifth Amendment self-incrimination?
Yeah, Fifth Amendment, and if there's other ones as well going on there, go ahead and discuss those. But
So I'll address just Fifth Amendment because Alex is right. When it comes to criminal procedure questions, sort of the important thing to remember is that your rights change based on which stage in the process you're currently in. Whether it's a traffic stop, whether it's an interrogation, there's all kinds of stages that go on in any criminal procedure case, and your rights are different in each stage. Yeah. Problem is, police are never going to tell you which of those stages you're in, except for with one exception, and that's when they read your Miranda rights.
Okay.
What that signals is that you are now in a custodial interrogation. So that's where things like right to counsel attach, so on and so forth. The generalized advice, and if you take one thing from this video, again, nothing in here is legal advice, but sort of legal education, but the generalized point to remember when it comes to any criminal procedure thing, don't talk to the police. Don't talk to the police. I'm serious. Under any circumstances, don't talk to the police because of exactly what Alex mentioned. Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. The police are trained by an army of some of the best criminal defense attorneys to get you to incriminate yourself. And they know exactly what the rules are at each stage, so they intentionally try to keep you from getting to stages where your rights attach, where they have to inform you of a right to counsel and a right to remain silent, but you do always have that right to remain silent. You never have to talk to the police. Just don't do it. Wait till you have an attorney there. Even if you're helping them out with a case, even if it's an investigation into a break-in in your own home, just wait till you have an attorney there. You can find one who will do it fairly inexpensively. It's going to take you 15 minutes, so it's 15 minutes of legal work. They could even be on the phone for it in many cases. Don't talk to the police without counsel there. Seriously, I can't stress that enough. If people get convicted, 9 times out of 10, probably even more than that, it's because they made a confession that they should not have made. But when it comes to DUIs, so Alex is talking about the right against self-incrimination in those circumstances. So Fifth Amendment, just as a little bit of a refresher, Fifth Amendment says that you will not be compelled to be a witness against yourself. What that means, practically speaking, is that you have a right to remain silent. You don't have to produce information about yourself if it tends to incriminate you.
Yeah.
Obviously, blowing into a breathalyzer if you've been drinking, that has a tendency to incriminate you, right? I mean, that is the crime that you're being accused of committing.
Right.
So you're right. You actually do not have to blow into a breathalyzer if you are pulled over by the police, at least in California.
Okay.
And if that's not true elsewhere, then those states are probably acting unconstitutionally. There's probably a live constitutional challenge there.
Okay.
But in California, you have the option either of blowing into a breathalyzer, or you can say, no, I want to wait for a blood test at the police station. Okay. And then at that point, the police will take you in their car and take you to the police station. And you'll get a blood test there. Most people opt for the breathalyzer test because it's easier and quicker to do that. Especially if they haven't been drinking, it's generally in your interest to do that. Now, you kind of squinted when I said that you can go into the police station and get a blood test there.
Yeah, it's just like an extended version of urinating yourself is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Right.
That's no different.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Okay.
But the courts have said that you're not right.
Yeah. Okay. So there is a cutout then.
So what you said initially about there sort of being a sobriety exception to the Fifth Amendment.
Right.
I don't want to say that's true because obviously our Constitution is inviolable. There are no exceptions to our Constitution. But that being said, yeah, there's absolutely a drunk driving exception to the Fifth Amendment. And the reason for that is the group Mothers Against Drunk Driving. You might have heard of them, MADD.
Yeah.
They are a very powerful lobby group. And they do nothing but push for laws relating to breathalyzers, drunk driving.
Right.
Because that's sort of the thing that they care about.
Yeah.
It's to the point where in some jurisdictions, if you test positive on a breathalyzer, that functions as a conclusive presumption of guilt, of being drunk.
Oh,
so
good.
you can't even rebut the breathalyzer. You can't even say maybe it was miscalibrated.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I have this, because I guess people that have stomach conditions, GERD or I don't know, IBS, different intestinal things. I guess they can have more alcohol in their breath than a different person would.
Yeah.
In many jurisdictions, that is now unrebuttable. You cannot raise that as a defense.
Oh, joy.
What the breathalyzer says goes, regardless of what's actually true.
Right.
It's a huge abuse of people's civil liberties. Now, I understand the motivation here. We want to protect against drunk drivers. It's a serious thing. They cause a lot of deaths.
Yeah.
I don't think it's more serious than our Constitution.
No.
I really don't. Our Constitution is what is literally the fabric of our society. Yeah. It's what holds us together. That is our country. We don't have that. We don't have anything. So, yeah, if you believe that you have been charged with a crime in relation to a breathalyzer where you were compelled to testify against your will, or if you live in a jurisdiction where that conclusive presumption of guilt operates, we are more than happy to represent you on that because I believe that is an egregious deprivation of civil liberties. So it's a great question, Alex. Usually I prepare a little bit for these beforehand.
Well, you couldn't.
John will give me his questions earlier the same day. This time I had no clue what Alex was going to ask. So I'm sure I left a lot out and missed stuff there.
Sure.
But that's my answer. We do bring those cases. Now we're going to get all of the phone calls with every drunk driver that wants an attorney. There's got to be a constitutional issue there, or we're not interested in the case. So if you were not compelled to testify, compelled to use the breathalyzer or a blood test, not really interested. And unfortunately, a lot of bad case law on that. But
that's right.
But we are prepared to stand against that. So that's the answer to that question.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, other than how would that be overturned? But I think that's obvious, which is that it would have to go to a superior court. So up to Supreme Court, if that would be where you'd overturn that.
So it's funny you use the word superior court because that superior court's actually our lowest level.
I know. I know. I noticed that while asking. Yeah. Go on. Yeah.
And they call that because there used to be all kinds of different courts. You had the criminal court, you had the probate court, tax court, and then they kind of lumped them all together in California into the superior court. But you would need to go to a higher level court in order to do that. I believe there's Ninth Circuit precedent on that. There's also even Supreme Court precedent on that.
I've heard that.
As we have seen over the past year, so this current court is not opposed to overruling unconstitutional decisions. Yeah. Because remember, if the court makes a decision that contravenes the Constitution of the United States, that was never good law. Yeah. So the court has every reason to overrule that the next time the issue goes in front of them. All right, that's all for today, folks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Alex. John should be back next week. We hope that John's feeling better. Yeah. This is not Alex's favorite thing in the world to do. So we would, if people want to send Alex flowers or something.
Don't do that. I'm allergic to flowers.
He'll hate that even more.
Yeah. It'll distract me at least.
But that's all. All right. Thanks for watching, folks. See you again next week.
See you guys next week.